Happy Halloween and blessed Samhain, everyone. I'm going to show you a really easy last-minute protection talisman that's steeped in Samhain tradition. But first, we're going to announce the winner of October Ghosts and Autumn Dreams. Coming up next. Everybody, I am of course Mickie Mueller, author, illustrator, and witch. Welcome to my studio this Samhain day. I'm all ready for the trick-or-treaters. I've got my cauldron bubbling over with bags full of candy. We've got to set up the fog machine shortly. And I'm really excited to share something cool with you guys today. It's a Samhain protection talisman that you make on Samhain or Halloween, and you leave it up all year long. This is an ages-old tradition. I love coming on here and sharing spells, witchy tips, and tricks with you guys. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, then you're in the right place. Make sure you don't forget to hit the subscribe button while you're here for more video content just like this. Before I walk you guys through the creation of the classic Irish protection symbol that you hang over your door on Halloween or Samhain, I want to go ahead and make the announcement of the winner of October Ghosts and Autumn Dreams, written by K.A. Opperman. Thank you so much, Kyle Opperman, Dan Sauer, and Jackanapes Press for sending this book along for the giveaway that we did on last week's video. If you guys missed it, I've read some really cool Halloween poetry for you guys over there, so definitely go check that out. I'll leave the link up here. And in the meantime, let's do the random drawing. Here we go, down to the computer. And the winner is, drumroll, Beth McDonald. Congratulations, Beth. Congratulations. I will get this right in the mail to you. All you need to do is send me a message either on Instagram, Facebook, email if you have to is fine. Send me a private message with your mailing address and I will pop that right in the mail to you. These little talismans are called Parshells, and these go back so far in Ireland that nobody even remembers where the tradition started or where it came from. It's that old. People just kept on doing it. Now this is something that you can create literally out of stuff that you find in your yard. So according to tradition, these can only be made on Halloween. Although I will say it's such an old tradition that it probably goes back to the ancient foundation of Halloween, which is Samhain. And that would mean that you could probably also make these on the astrological date for Samhain, which does sometimes change depending on the tradition that you follow. So if you are seeing this late and you want to make one, I'll put the date right here of the astrological Samhain, and you could probably go ahead and make it on that date if you wanted to. Now traditionally they used straw or rushes or any other kind of fibrous plant material that they could get their hands on, tall grass, anything like that. And yeah, they're pretty rough and ready, as you can see. This isn't any kind of beautiful artistic piece. What it is a piece of deep history and very old tradition. If you had to, I think you could use some twine or some jute to create this, but ideally it holds its shape better if you're using some kind of fibrous plant material. I've seen people make these to more resemble ojos de Dios, which is something that I grew up making as a kid in Albuquerque when I grew up. But the ojos are definitely from a different culture than these are. These are from an Irish culture. They really aren't made in exactly the same way as ojos. Now the way that these work is one of these is made and then the other one comes down and then this one goes up and takes its place. There's also a word that you're supposed to yell out when you take the old one down. And again, this tradition goes back so far that as far as I have been able to discover, nobody even knows what that word means anymore. Although some people suggest that it's a phonetic interpretation of an incantation that's meant to clear it of any negative energy that's left behind, probably warding against ghost roaming fairies and such. I am not sure how the word is pronounced myself. So every year when I make one of these, I get my little book of Halloween out and I do my best to phonetically pronounce that word, which I will put right here. I kind of feel like Ash in Army of the Dead when I say it.
Klaatu, Marada,
because I know I'm not probably saying it correctly. So instead of using wild gathered plant material to weave this, I used raffia in mine, just because it's really long and easy to work with. And I'm a busy witch, so for me that was just the easiest way to go. If you have raffia on hand, it works really well. If you don't, and you have some kind of other fibrous plant growing in your yard, you can knot several sections together. Pampas grass would work great, yucca, something like that. Really anything that's fibrous should work. This is really just a great example of some very, very old knot magic. So let's go over to the dining table and I will show you guys how I made my new one for this year. So if you guys have a copy of my Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloweens, you will find instructions on how to make a Parshell in that book. It's also in Samhain by Diana Rajchel, and as you can see, I illustrated that one, but she also has instructions for making a Parshell in that one. But sometimes it's easier just to see it done. So these are 2 twigs that I picked up out of my yard, super fancy supplies. And that is raffia, which I picked up from the dollar store, and I just happen to have that around the house. So the first thing you do is tie your 2 twigs together, and you can use any kind of twigs that you want. I got these from my oak tree, and it just drops them. So just don't harm any trees in the process. Usually just some found sticks will work really well. So I double knotted that nice and tight right in the middle of those 2 sticks, and then I'm going to cut the little end off, and then just scooch them out until they become the shape of an equal-armed cross. So the next thing you're going to do is take your raffia and whatever you're using and kind of twist it around the middle going one direction and then twist it around the middle going the other direction. That'll help to stabilize it and hold it in place. Now, of course, throughout the creation of this project, you're going to be focusing on your magical purpose, which is to make a magical talisman for protection. Now, what you'll start doing is working your way around and just kind of fiddle with it until you kind of find your groove of how you want it to go. And it's a very simple weaving pattern. It's basically over one stick, under the next, over one stick, under the next. And this is the way that I found it described in descriptions of these items and how they were made. If you've ever made an Ojos de Dios, then you will know that there is a little bit more complicated weaving pattern in those, and that's kind of one of the differences in these 2 different basically talismans. And as you can see, I just continue on. At one point you might like to switch your pattern around, which is what I did here, in order to make sure that the twigs are more covered as you go around. The further out you get from it, it will kind of turn from being kind of a diamond shape, and you'll see it kind of change, and it'll start to look more like a disc of that raffia that's going to be in the center of it. and it's going to be a little bit loosey-goosey, and that is okay. And here I am doing a little twist so that I can then change again the weave pattern to the opposite. So I go over, under, and then I switch it and then go under, over. And now I've reached the end of that raffia, but I actually want to add more. So all you need to do is just grab another piece and just knot them together. Not even a big deal at all, super easy. And again, it's another opportunity for you to tie your intention into that knot. And then I'm just going to carefully clip the little extra ends off of that and continue on weaving as if nothing ever happened. Just keep going around and around. So now I'm just going to continue on going around the cross in a clockwise direction as I go, and just kind of shaping, as you can see, those bits of raffia into place so that it forms a disc of fiber around the center of the two crossed sticks. If anyone has an old Irish grandfather or great-grandfather or grandmother who can tell you a different way to do these, definitely let me know down in the comments. But this is the best way that I figured out from the descriptions that I read as to how to make these. I wish I had thought to ask my Aunt Catherine when I was a kid. I'm sure that she knew how to make these. It's kind of amazing the parts of our culture that we lose if we don't talk to people. So, you know, if you have those people still alive in your families, definitely talk to them about these things. Once you reach a point at which you're happy with how it looks, which I am right here, you will grab your whatever material that you're using to weave with and just tie it off the best that you can. And again, these are very rustic looking. It doesn't have to be anything perfect or artistic. Just knot it off the best that you can. And just kind of secure it, you know, so that it's not going to fall apart as it hangs over your door all year. And again, just go ahead and clip off that extra bit at the end. Now I grabbed an extra piece of raffia to make a hanger, just because this is going to hang over my door. And I just kind of wedged it there underneath what was woven, and then tie it off to create a loop so that you can hang it. And there it is, all ready to go. So in order to hang it up, I need to take down the one from the previous year, and don't forget to say the magic word. Von Staren Shihi. Von Staren Shihi. Klaatu Verada. I always take mine outside next and shake it a little bit, and that's not something that I read about. It's just something that I was guided to do, so I do it, but you don't have to. Traditionally, the old ones were hung in the barn to protect the animals. You could also burn it, and a more modern interpretation of that is you can hang it in your garage. I don't have a garage, so I'm hanging it where it can overlook my car for now. Here's the new one that you joined me while I made, and I will just hang that up right where the old one was, and that will stay there until Samhain of next year. And that's all there is to it. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this really interesting little Samhain talisman known as a Parshell or a Samhain Cross. And I hope that you guys get a chance to make one of your own. Really quick before I let you guys go, if you are not already following me over on Instagram, and you missed out on the giveaway that I did here, I'm doing another book giveaway over on Instagram, and that winner will be announced November 1st. So you have a minute if you want to run over there and enter my Instagram giveaway. And it is for Llewellyn's little book of Day of the Dead by Jamie Guerones, and I hope I pronounced that right. This is a gorgeous little book full of the history, old traditions, new traditions, everything to do with Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So if you guys haven't entered my Instagram giveaway, I'm announcing this one on November 1st, 2021. So if you haven't already done it, go follow me over on Instagram and enter this. This book gets along great with my little book of Halloween. I'm going to be leaving these out on the coffee table every year from now on. And I do talk about Dia de los Muertos a little bit briefly here in my book of Halloween, but I did not go into it in depth because it is a different holiday. But Jamie is from Mexico City, and he has done so much fantastic research, and this book is just chock full of really good information, you guys, to help you celebrate or to help you learn more about the Day of the Dead. I hope you guys have a really safe and happy Halloween, a blessed Samhain, and I will see you guys here next time. Until then, remember to stay safe, happy, and healthy, and to always be your magic. Bye, everybody.